So how, as a deliberative body, one of the things that we need to figure out is, what is the feasibility regarding the extensive engineering that it would take? You can engineer anything. I mean, we could put something on Mars. I mean,
Right.
so it's not a matter of can you engineer this. It's were it to be engineered, how with the obstacles that are at hand and the attendant, impacts to the surrounding neighborhoods. How would we go about assessing whether or not to invest in a concept plan? Because that's expensive. So, I'm trying to find out how do we get the kind of information that we need to know whether or not it's worth, going forward, given that we want to build affordable housing.
Right.
And we're not looking to, to do something that is going to be astronomically expensive.
Right. So let's pretend for a second that you're a private developer, and I'll just speak, again, offering no opinion about the actual suitability of the site, but rather how you would do exactly as you asked, analyze it to see if you want to go forward with concept plans. Well, the main engineering components that in our line of work you would typically look at is, one, your grade across the site. So as a contractor or an owner, a developer, that's going to be really expensive to build on. You're either going to have to flatten it out, which means more than likely bring in a lot of fill, or you're going to have to put steeper roads in there, and all of your buildings are going to have to be on high foundations. You know that going in, just looking at the survey. Again, you have this sewer easement on the edge of your property, so that takes away from developable area. Streams are a huge pain from a development standpoint. You have to permit them. You have to provide strict erosion control measures in construction, and then the inspection throughout construction for stream impacts, for buffer impacts, is pretty intensive. So those are some components you could look at by just seeing this survey and say, well, let's see if we bring in all this fill and flatten it out, how many townhome units we could get on for affordable housing. Or you might say, I don't want to fool with filling. I don't even want to look at it. I know it's going to be too expensive. I know I'm not going to get return on investment. Again, pretending you're a private developer here. I don't want the site. So those are some of the components and decision making, or some of the analysis you could do to decide whether you want to move forward with concept plans. Skipping back to our environmental maps here, your buffers, particularly on your Crest Street site, is ate up with buffers and ephemeral streams and large streams and easements. So you can't build on an easement, and you can't build over top of sewer, obviously. You're going to have to relocate if you want to maximize density. So those are things before you even start concept planning. And then the other thing I would add is what we see is sometimes projects go all the way through a concept plan all the way to what we call a pre-application meeting. So we go and meet with the authority and say, this is what we're thinking. Talk to us about the regulations here. What are we missing? What did we miss in the land development ordinance? And then sometimes it gets killed there after you've put in quite a bit of capital to investigate whether it's actually desirable to do.